Hi everybody, this is Michelle with Creative Operation, and today I wanted to show you this mega album that I made. It is a recipe album and it is full of 4x6 recipe cards, and I came up with another way to make pages out of paper bags. So today what I wanted to do is just share with you my album, and then I'm going to come back and do a tutorial on how I kind of put the pages together. Really kind of a cool little idea. I was inspired by another YouTuber, Taes Tatters, and I hope I said that right. I'll put the information in the comments so that you guys can go check it out. She made a album that she called the Prima's Fairy Rhymes Paper Bag Mini Album. And she had paper bags that were in the album, but the pages were connected. There was like two layers of paper bag albums, like, you know, one here and then one here, and they were connected with two of the Tim Holtz binder rings. And I was looking at that and I was like, that's a really cool idea, but I wonder if I can do it and make it so that there was like one page instead of two pages. So anyway, if you go see her video, her album is beautiful, but that's where I got inspired. So again, check out the comments and I'll give you the information. So then what I decided to do was to raid my stash. So almost everything in here I had in my stash. These are flowers that I had, Prima flowers that I put together and did a post on my blog a long time ago. All of these flowers were. Ribbon from my stash. I had these charms, this really cute spoon, spatula, and pot in my stash. All the papers, everything was in my stash. So I just went through my recipe pile and put the book together. It is a fairly big book, as you can see. It is quite wide. I think the binding is like almost 3 inches. I used Laura Dennison's Stack the Deck binding idea to do this, and I'm going to just real quick go through and show you what I did. Every page is different. Let me see if I can get it in frame here a little bit better. That's about what I can do. This book is huge. So on the inside of the front cover, I used an envelope to create a pocket, and then I also had these really awesome plastic sleeves that I was able to put some recipe cards in, and then I fussy cut some images to put on the end of them because they're open so that the cards wouldn't slide through. And then in here I just put a variety of recipe cards. And then this is the page that I'm going to do the tutorial about. This is the page that's the two paper bags, but they're connected so that they're one page. Pretty simple and pretty easy to do, but what it did, and when I did it, what it did was, and there's different configurations too, is it gave you the two pockets, and then I connected it with a tube right here, and I hope that comes out on camera. It looks like it is, so that you could have another piece there too. So I did a couple of those, and then I did some other pages. I'll walk you through. Here's some more of the recipe pages, or recipe cards that pull out, and again the fussy cut images that I used. And then I put on the front cover, I totally just realized I forgot to do that, so I need to add a ribbon, but I went through my ribbon stash too and then just picked what looked good. On the inside of these paper bags I have recipe cards, and then in this little mini pocket that is created when you put the two together, I took a piece of cardstock in my stash, took a recipe card and cut it so that it would fold nicely so that I could have yet another recipe card. So that's those pages. On the other side of those pages, and let me just make sure I'm kind of in frame here, same thing. Since the paper bag has the two gussets, I have another recipe card in each side, so it holds 4 there and then 1 in the middle, which makes 5. And then on this one in particular, I just made one large pocket and filled it full of recipe cards that I had in my stash. And again, all of this was in my stash. This page right here is 2 envelopes that I hooked together with some cardstock, making a gusset so that I could fill it. I added one of those plastic sleeves there for recipe card. Inside the envelopes I put recipe cards, and then in the gusset piece, I'll pull this out, I put some file folders that I had created, and yet again more recipe cards. And I put 2 of those in there because it was so big. So that's what's in this gusseted piece right there, and that's an envelope or a couple envelopes, excuse me, put together with some cardstock. And then here I had these really cool little pockets that I created pages out of, and they each have one recipe card. On these pieces right here, there's some chipboard pieces, and I made it so that if I wanted to put a picture or something in there, I only adhered it down on the bottom and stuff so you could slide a picture behind, so I did that with all that. And then this is another paper bag page that I use, so you can see, again, you got the whole gusset piece in the middle, and it actually allows for a lot of expansion, so I could put way more cards in there than I have. But what I did was I reversed the orientation, so you have, they're hooked together, they are totally hooked together, but this piece is one big piece, and then this one has one pocket that will hold a recipe card. And again, I did another recipe card on the inside piece so that you could actually utilize that piece. You could also, I was thinking, do just plain cardstock and then do like journaling or something like that would be kind of cool. And so then the opposite on the other side. And on this page right here, this is another recipe, or excuse me, another paper bag configuration where it's just like the first one where it's all on one side, but I created two smaller pockets just for variety. And then on the other side, I had these awesome, from close to my heart, page flips. So I created a page where I could have a lot of cards here. My idea for this book was that you could take all of the cards out. Every single one of them can come out of this book, so that when you take it to the kitchen, you don't have to take your whole book and you don't get it all messed up with your cooking. You can just take the card, put it in a recipe holder or something on your counter, and then your book stays pretty nice and clean. So envelope pages here as well. I did a double page, used the plastic covers, and then on the inside of these envelopes I of course cut the top because I wanted some more room for more recipes, and these were printouts that I found free online, and I will put that in the comments as well. Had that link for a long time too. Again, this was pretty much all in my stash. There was only a couple things that I actually bought, but everything else was in my stash, and I still have like a ton left. I could probably make like 4 more of these books. This page right here was made out of a giant envelope that I bought, and I forget the size of it, but it was ginormous. It was like 9 by 12 craft envelope that was, I think that's what size it was. Anyway, so what I did was I cut it apart. I put some pieces back together, so what I ended up with is creating a pocket here, and then there's a pocket here, so you could put more cards in. And then there's a pocket behind here with more cards. And then the top was open so that I could put a giant tag, which I made into a folder with yet more recipe cards. I really should count. I should have counted the amount of recipe cards that I put in this book. It's amazing. I want to say there's over 100 different recipe cards in here. So this would hold a ginormous amount of family recipes, whatever. And on the back of the envelope, I created another pocket with a piece of paper in my stash. Put some more cards in. And then here is the last paper bag page, and I reversed the orientation, so the bottom of the bag creates a pocket here, just like the other one. And the front of the bag is this side here, and then the opposite over on the other side. And again, all of these have recipe cards in and recipe card in the middle. And then on the back page, this was kind of fun to do. I took another envelope and made another pocket and put another recipe, which again, I need to put another tag on there so I can pull it out easier. And in this envelope, from my stash of junk that I have in my closet that I never used, I made a long time ago this booklet that was actually created with my Caloozle. And you guys remember those? Do you still have any? I still have my set. I couldn't bear to throw it away, and I actually pull it out every once in a while and use it. But there was a file folder template that I used, and I cut out just a bunch of the folders and sewed them together down the middle. And I used grocery sacks to make this book. And I did it a long, long time ago. made it and then put it back in my stash and never used it. And when I was going through my closet and trying to find like my paper bags and all that, I came across this and I was like, what perfect way to use this than to add it as a booklet for yet more recipes. So my idea here on this one was I was going to put like my favorite mix recipes, my herb mixes, my taco seasoning, kind of stuff like that. You can write the names of the recipes on those little tabs. I put some stickers in there from my stash to kind of decorate some of the pages up. So that's what I did for that pocket. And then I thought, wow, I actually get to use that for a change. But that was something I made a long time ago with my Caloozle. So you can see this thing is huge. It's going to store lots and lots of recipes for me. So that is my project. I'm going to come back with a tutorial and I'll show you how I created the paper bag pages. And I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think and have a very crafty day. Bye-bye.